this is Jeannie at Trendy, and today I'm going to show you how to take this RAZ cedar and pine wreath and decorate it. We use 3 different styles of ribbons. This is a beautiful 4-inch wide ribbon that has a red on one side and green on the other and a white edging. We use some lime green with a red edge ribbon and then another reversible ribbon that's red on one side and lime on the other. These are RAZ balls. They're wood balls. They have a little sprinkling of glitter. They come in a 5-inch size and a 4-inch size, and they're available in red and white. And then we have these cute little elves from RAZ that have their little red pajamas on, and they're flexible. You can just bend them and twist them any which way that you want to get them in a shape and attach them to your wreath. Okay, all the supplies came from Trendy, and I'll give you the SKU numbers of the items that we use. Now, by the time you see this video, we may be sold out of some of the items. Typically, you know, that can happen, especially if you're viewing a few weeks later. But you can take this same technique and apply it using any sort of ribbons, any sort of decorations. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start with this 21-inch cedar and pine wreath from RAZ. I just wanted to show you that even though it's a quote 21-inch wreath, it measures 14 inches across the wreath form. So the first thing that we need to do is take our wreath and fluff out the branches. You have to take every one of these limbs and separate it out and fluff. We're just going to go all the way around the wreath, separating those branches. Now we have our wreath all fluffed and it's ready to decorate. I'm going to decorate this wreath just using some classic red and green. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some ribbon strips. Now I've picked out 2 or 3 different ribbons. You can change these up, you know, just use almost any kind of ribbon. But I have one that is a 4-inch wide ribbon. It's red on one side and green on the other, and it has kind of a white edging on it. Very beautiful. It's red velvet, it's red and green, and then the little white fuzzy on the edge. And this is 4 inches in width, 10 yards in length. So I think I'm going to make a big bow, big wreath bow to put on it. So we may put some ribbon strips throughout it also. And then I have this another red velvet ribbon. Well, it's more like a plush this ribbon is red on one side and lime green on the other, and a narrower width. It's just 1.5 inches. So we may use some of that. And then I have one that's red and white, and then I have one that's lime green and red. I'm going to start out first. I think that I'll make my wreath bow, and then that way we can take the remainder of any ribbon that we have left over and use it in ribbon strips for the wreath. And long tails. And see, that width is going to be just about right. So now, to finish off our ends, I'm going to take the ribbon and just roll it up a little bit, roll up those ends a little. Because like I say, that green is just so pretty, you just want it to show some. And you can just crimp up your tails any way that you want to fix them. But I like that finished look for just something a little different. Now you can take a chenille stem and just thread through the knot on the back to have something to attach it to your wreath by. Okay, so now you've got something to attach it with. Okay, now we're going to take what we had left over and do some ribbon strips on the wreath. I cut a ribbon strip about 34 inches, and I'm just going to use the twists that are on the wreath to attach the ribbon. I'm probably going to use about 3 strips this length, and have about a 10-inch loop. So I'm going to take the ribbon and just pinch it and find a couple of twists. I'm trying to use the tinsel twist, not the tinsel twist, but the little twist on the tree, on the wreath that looks like a Christmas tree limbs. And I'm just going to lay the ribbon in there and just give it just a twist. It's not going to take a lot to hold the ribbon pieces. And then just move down, make a loop that's about 10 inches, and then come down and find two more places, find another place to attach your ribbon. Okay, and then you have these ends, and I'm gonna take my ends and finish them off like we did the bow. I'm just gonna roll them up a little bit so that that other green will show. Of course, this is 4-inch wide ribbon. It's not going to take a lot on this wreath. So I'm going to just pick out maybe 3 places and do like 3 pieces like that and see if that's enough. Okay, so I think that's enough of our wide ribbon. Next, I'm going to add in some more red, but it's the red and lime. It's the narrow ribbon. It's still wired. It's got a little glitter on the edge. It's always a good idea before you start cutting up your ribbon, when you think you're going to need a 24-inch piece or a 36-inch piece, it's always good to just grab even a scrap ribbon till you get your width, get your length of your ribbon figured out like you want to use it, especially on a nice ribbon like this that's a little more expensive. I'm going to take some of this other ribbon. This is a 2.5-inch lime green with a red edge, and then this is the red on one side and lime green on the other, 1.5 inches. I'm going to cut some strips 16 inches in length. And just go ahead and chevron those ends. To do the chevron, you just fold the ribbon like that, fold it again, and cut on the folded edge away from you. And that makes your chevron ends. Now, I'm going to take that, the 2.5-inch ribbon, and lay the red ribbon, the narrow, on top of it. Just pinch it in the center. And instead of using the twist on the wreath, the limbs on the wreath, to attach these ribbon strips, I'm going to just use a chenille stem. Just cut one in half and just put it across the center of your ribbon cluster. Bring it to the back and just pinch it. Give it a couple of twists. So then you've sort of created a pick. Then we're going to take the wreath and we're going to attach that pick down to the wreath form, and you'll have to kind of just turn it to the back and find a place to attach it. It won't be so nice and pretty from the back, but who's going to look at the back anyway? Now we're just going to go around and we'll add in some ribbon clusters. There's our wreath after we've added some ribbon strips. I did 3 pieces in the 4-inch ribbon, and I did about 10 clusters using the 2.5-inch and the 1.5. And that's the good thing about a wreath like this. You can put in as little or as much ribbon or any style of ribbon that you want. So next we're going to add in some balls. These are RAZ wool balls. They have a little glitter on them. They come in red and white, and there's I think that's a 5-inch size, and this is a 4-inch. And I just brought a couple of the large ones and about 3 or 4 of the white ones. Before you start, attaching something like your balls, you always want to just kind of position them on there and kind of get a test look at what you want to add and where you want to add them before you start adding them. Now, there's different ways to add balls to a wreath. You can take a wooden floral pick These are styrofoam, so you can punch a hole in it and take a wooden floral pick and secure that pick in there with some hot glue, and then secure the floral pick to the wreath. Or you can use the twist on the wreath also. You could hot glue. You could take this and use a large amount of hot glue and just stick it in there like that. Now, for tutorials, we try not to do, excuse me, wasp. For tutorials, we try not to damage anything. So I'll attach these. I'll probably just take the hanger and go down to the very bottom of a stem, and I'll just wrap that, keep wrapping that cord around that stem until it's snug, because I'll take mine apart and do something else with it. If you're making it for a permanent wreath, you might want to try, you know, a more permanent way. Okay, there's a wreath after we've added the balls. And next, we're going to add these cute little elves from RAZ. They're flexible. You can just bend them into any kind of position. These have a little, these are like they're wearing little pajamas. So we're going to attach those to the wreath. And to attach something like this, you can just run a small floral wire around the waist or the legs and attach it to the wreath frame. There's our wreath after we added our two little elves and we attached our wreath bow with that pipe cleaner. That's our finished wreath. It's about 27 or 28 inches in width and about 36 inches if you measure all the way down to the bottom of the ribbons. We appreciate you watching. We hope you subscribe to our channel. There's a little button down on your bottom right where you can subscribe. And please give us a like if you like the video and share our video with your friends. We appreciate it so much. Okay? Thanks for dropping in. Bye-bye.